All right, so now we have a little bit of work to do with our lesson number 12. That's a nice 14-inch smallmouth in the Delaware River. I caught that on, I guess, about September 18th of 2021. Nice fish, slammed me hard. Thought that I snagged the bottom when I hooked him. He put up such a tussle. But a lot of fun and, in a weird sort of way, a cute fish. So now let's go to, here we go, and you can see he's got some nice colors in him for all of that green modeling. That fly hanging out his mouth there, that's a fly I call the clonker. Combination of a clouser and a zonker. So that's one of the things I do in my spare time for fun. Speaking of fun, we have 3 multi-step equations for you to solve. Those are the 3 results sitting right there in front of you. Let's see you solve them, and we will go over the correct answers. Go ahead. Stop and start moment, guys. All right, so I'm gaining a lot of confidence in your ability to get these right, and I don't think we need to spend an enormous amount of time going over each of these questions. The first one is the negative 9.6. The second one is the 6.9. And the third one, has to be the 2.98, okay? So if you made a mistake, I think you can self-correct on those. Go back and see where you might have made a little bit of a stumble, okay? But I'm confident that you got them correct as it was. Now, next up are to solve 2 literal equations. This is all review of work we've been doing for quite a while. So let's have you do numbers 27 and 28 on a stop and start again, and I will show you the correct steps for each answer. Okay, so the first one, we want to solve for m, so that means make it say m equals. And the way I do that, the first thing I have to do is get rid of this half here. To do that, I multiply by 2, and that's the step here. That makes 2k equal to, and 2 times a half is just 1, so now there's no number there, it's just mv squared. And I divide by v squared to get m by itself. So my answer is, remember these v squareds here would go die-die, or cancel each other out, or aliens will abduct them, or Sasquatch will squish them, whatever you want to say. The m will equal 2k over v squared. Okay? And next up, I want to solve for t, which you instantly know means make it say t equals. So here's my work. I'll let you look at it first before I describe it. Okay, so my first step is to add 2 r's to both sides, and I get 5t equals 2r plus 25. Then I need to divide both sides by 5 to get t by itself. Of course, these 5's go cancel, die, whatever you want to say. 2r plus 25 over 5 is the correct answer, okay? All right, so that's, some casual review of what it is we've had going on. And what we're working on now is really a whole bunch of different kinds of questions, most of which we've already taught you how to do. So it's really pretty much a practice exercise and see if there's anything we need to clean up kind of lesson today. One thing that we are going to work on for the rest of the class and give sample problems with is 1-step percent questions. Then we've got 2-step percent questions. We've got some geometry applications, for instance, perimeter. And the fact that the 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180. And complementary and supplementary. Remember, as the letter C comes before the letter S, 90 comes before 180 in the number line. So complementary means adds up to 90, supplementary adds up to 180. We're going to introduce a new topic to our understandings or applications of geometry using algebra, and that is isosceles. Isosceles triangles. The big thing about isosceles is this. 2 of the sides of an isosceles triangle, or trapezoid for that matter, are going to be congruent, and the things we call the base angles, those are also going to be congruent. Excuse me. We will talk a little bit more about that when we hit slides dealing with that topic. Find the number kind of questions, which we did a while back, but we didn't hit the last 2 lessons, so we need to come back to them. And likewise with consecutive integer questions. 1 asterisk means we have covered it before, but we need to come back and emphasize it again. And 2 asterisks mean that it's a brand new lesson. Okay? So we'll do this short. The first video will be on percents, and then we'll break off into a new video. So here are two questions. What is 35% of 250? And 20 is what percent of 160? I suggest you do one question at a time. So let's do the first one. All right, so what is the correct answer to this first one? Well, the most important thing you can remember is whenever we solve these percent questions, it's percent over 100 equals part over whole. This is the proportional reasoning we've been teaching you. Remember, the word is often indicates the part and the word of indicates the whole. I have seen a couple of occasions over the years where they get tricky with that, but very rarely, very, very, very rarely. So when it says what is here, what's the variable? So the n goes with the is, which means I'm going to put it in the top right because that's where the is goes. 35 goes with percent, so that goes in the top left. And then it says of 250, that goes on the bottom right. So I plug those numbers in. And then it's just a matter of cross multiplying and solving. 100 times n is 100n. 35 times 250 is 8750. Dividing by 100, and I get 87.50 or 87 and a half. Okay? Once again, pair things up. That's really the key. The of goes with the 250, the 35 with the percent, and the what goes with the is. Now, we'll go to the next one. 20 is what percent of 160? Go ahead. Okay, so we'll check out the answers. Again, the same percent proportion to start with. In this case, the 20 goes with the is. So in the is place, which is the top, you're going to put 20. It says what percent, so that's on the left, we put the n because I don't know what the percent is, and it needs to go in the percent place. And then the of is 160. And then the solving of these is always the same, and it's pretty straightforward. Just cross multiply. 160 times n is 160n. 100 times 20 is 2000. Divide, and I get 12.5%. Okay? All right, so I would call those one-step level 1 foundational percent problems. But those percent problems can become more challenging. For instance, this one I will put in there and I will go over it with you, and then the next one you can do on your own. All right. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's stop here, and then we'll begin the next video with this slide.